Hey guys, welcome in. I'm gonna let everybody get in for a minute. Give it a few minutes. Good morning, folks. Alrighty. All right, here we go. What the hell? I don't like this. All right, let's get into it.
Yours right here, please. You do solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give the court on the issue now pending shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, would you please have a seat for me? And once seated, if you would please state and spell your true and correct legal name for the record.
Yes, my first name is Charles, Charles. Last name is Needham, Needham.
All right, thank you. Attorney Horowitz, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. All right, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you employed?
I currently work for the City of Lawrenceville Police Department.
In what capacity?
I'm the sergeant over the training unit.
And how long have you been with Lawrenceville Police Department?
I started in March 17th, 2023.
Now, prior to Lawrenceville, did you have any previous law enforcement experience?
Yes, I started in Sandy Springs Police in 2016.
Now, as you worked through Sandy Springs, in what capacity did you work with Sandy Springs?
I started as an officer on patrol, went to our traffic unit, and then was a detective prior to leaving Sandy Springs Police.
Now, have you been post-certified, I guess, since 2016?
Yes.
All right. Now, I wanted to direct your attention to November 19, 2021. Were you on duty with the Sandy Springs Police Department that morning?
I was.
And were you in the capacity of a detective at that time?
I was.
Now, were you dispatched to 90 Karen Glen Drive?
Yes.
Is that in Sandy Springs?
It is.
Now, why were you dispatched there?
So a call had come out of a burglary in progress. I had just arrived in the office that morning, and I was listening to our radio traffic and notified our supervision that I was going to go ahead and go down there as one of the only detectives in the office.
You guys hear me okay?
And that was when I self-dispatched to that location.
Now,
Thumbs up
around
on
what
the
time
chat
did
if you
that
can
call
hear
come
me,
out?
please.
About 8:50 in the morning.
And around what time did you arrive to that scene?
I arrived at 9:10, and while I was walking out of the office is when the shots fired call came out. Prior to that,
Now, did you actually make it to that scene?
I did.
Now, when you arrived, what did you observe?
So when I got on scene, there were several officers attempting to control the defendant in the front yard. He had at least 2 gunshot wounds that I could see, one like a grazed wound to the neck or back of the head and one to the upper torso. And when I arrived, when I went into the house, that was
Shot his ass.
where I discovered the crime scene and where Sergeant Roush had been stabbed and was being treated.
Now, in the front yard, was the defendant getting medical treatment?
So the officers were attempting to get him under control at that time, but he did get medical treatment from them and from the ambulance that arrived shortly after.
Now, was he loaded into that ambulance?
He was.
And where was he transported to?
To North Fulton Hospital, I believe.
Now, was the defendant discharged from the hospital shortly thereafter?
He was.
Now, after being discharged from the hospital, where was he transported?
He was transported back to Sandy Springs Police Headquarters.
Do you know how he was transported back?
Yes, it was one of our crime suppression officers, had transported him back. I can't remember the exact line.
In so just a patrol car?
Yes,
And was he in handcuffs at that time when he was being transported back?
he was.
Now, where is the Sandy Springs headquarters located?
7840 Roswell Road in Sandy Springs, Georgia.
For what?
County.
I apologize. For what purpose was he brought back to headquarters?
So that we could attempt to do an interview with him.
Now, approximately what time was he brought back to the headquarters from the hospital?
About 5 p.m. that same day.
And when he was brought back into the headquarters, was he still in handcuffs?
He was.
Now, when he arrived to headquarters, was he allowed to use the restroom?
He was.
Indeed.
He did.
Was he offered food and water?
Yes.
And was he provided with food or water?
Yes.
Now, were you able to have an interview with him?
I was.
Around what time did you start your interview?
About 5:25 that evening.
Now, what was your purpose in interviewing the defendant?
So I interviewed him alongside Sergeant Johnson, who was over the detectives division at the time, and it was to gain some kind of an understanding of what led to the stabbing and officer-involved shooting, trying to figure out why he was in the house he was in, and to get his side of things so we could help figure out what led us to where we landed.
Now, that being your purpose, at that time, did you have any information as to an incident in Cobb County?
I did not.
Now, were you able to conduct an interview with the defendant?
I was.
Now, prior to that interview, was he advised of his Miranda rights?
He was.
And were they read to him?
They were.
Were they read in full to him?
They were.
And did he understand English?
Yes.
Did you have any problems in your communicating with him?
Not at all.
Was he asked whether he was under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
He was.
And did he indicate away?
He indicated that he was not under the influence of anything.
And were you able to gather his highest level of education?
Yes.
And what was that?
That he was currently studying at UGA, something to do with artificial intelligence, I believe.
Now, kind of describe the nature of the interview.
It was a conversational interview. There was no shouting back and forth, persuasion, threats, anything like that. The entire conversation was just a simple back and forth question and answer.
Now, once you read his rights, did he wish to speak with you, Sergeant Johnson?
Yes.
Now, at any time during this interview, did you threaten the defendant?
No.
At any time, did you pull your gun out?
No.
At any point, did he unequivocally invoke any of his rights?
No.
About how long was your interview with the defendant?
It's probably, I think the first go-round was at least an hour because we had stepped out for a while to recollect our thoughts after we had learned of the Cobb County incident.
Now, prior to that interview, were photographs taken of the defendant?
They were.
And for what purpose?
For subject identification and to show his injuries at the time of the interview and his physical condition overall.
I'm now going to show you what's marked as State's Exhibits 676 through 684. Do you recognize those photographs?
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize them?
So these photographs were taken in our interview room at Sandy Springs. This was the room where he was interviewed by me and Sergeant Johnson.
And are these fair and accurate photographs of the defendant prior to your interview?
Yes, they are.
At this time, the state moves to enter what's marked as State's Exhibit, and I forgot the number, 676 through 684.
I have an opportunity to view those and never look at it.
States Exhibit 676 through 684 are admitted.
And may I publish it?
Yes.
Now, in the state's exhibit 676, who do we see in this photograph?
That's the defendant, Mr. Lanz.
Now, do you see Mr. Lanz in this courtroom today?
I do.
If you'll please point to that individual and describe an article of clothing.
Yes, it's Mr. Lanz over here in the bright green jumpsuit.
Let the record reflect that the detective has identified the defendant.
The record will so reflect.
Now, part of your headquarters, is it customary for interviews to be recorded?
Yes,
Now, are there cameras within this room?
there are.
Where are they?
So there's one on the wall facing toward the table that would be behind the photographer in this picture, and there's one on the ceiling tucked into one of the corners.
Now, prior to your testimony today, have you reviewed that recording?
Yes, I have.
And is that recording a fair and accurate recording of the interview that you had with the defendant that day?
Yes.
Now, this time the state moved entry was marked as State's Exhibit 470 into evidence.
Judge, before we do that, I'd like to ask you a few questions on the facts. Be sure that,
Yes.
I understood.
You can proceed.
Thank you.
And that's 470, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay.
Good morning, Charlie.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm great. I think this interview took place after Mr. Lanz had been taken to the hospital, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And do you know what procedure they did at the hospital on him?
I do not know, other than just generally speaking, treating the gunshot wounds. I'm not a medical professional, so I can't speak to what they did.
Do you know what medications they gave him for pain?
I do not know.
Okay. Did you ever ask him?
I did not. When Sergeant Johnson advised him of his Miranda rights, that's when he asked him if he was under the influence of any drugs, and he said no.
Okay. Did you ever go to the hospital?
I did not know.
Do you know which officers did?
I know that Detective Tom Cox was one of them, and at the times, I believe he was a Sergeant Milholland was one of them. I'm not sure of who the others were. I was tied up with everything else at headquarters.
Okay. And did you speak with any of them to find out what medications he may have been given at the hospital?
No, I did not.
Did you talk to any of the officers that had gotten information from him at the scene of this home invasion?
No, all those officers were sequestered shortly after that incident per our department policy and the GBI's request due to the officer-involved shooting.
And did Mr. Lanz appear to know where he was and why he was there?
Yes, he appeared completely coherent during our conversations. There was no signs to me of any kind of impairment or anything like that.
Did anyone tell you that he had said that God had told him to go to that house?
During the interview, he told that to me. I don't recall if anybody had said that beforehand or not.
But you did not see anything yourself that would cause you to pause and questioning?
No.
Nothing further, Judge.
Mayor Attorney Barry, is there any objection as to Exhibit 470 as to Mr. Lanz's statement of whether or not it was voluntarily, and knowingly?
After watching the interview, the primary thing I want to find out was what medications this officer may have known that he was under. I do not see anything in the video that would cause me to believe that he didn't do it freely and voluntarily.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Exhibit 470 is admitted.
Now, just to kind of follow up on a couple of those questions. Now, coming from the hospital, probably on some medication, correct?
Yes.
Now, even though on medication, did you have any difficulties communicating with him?
No, I did not.
And did he seem under the influence when you were speaking with him?
No, he did not.
Now, during this interview, did you ever give him a hope of benefit in speaking with you?
No.
Now, I want to ask about the interview itself and kind of the recording. Are your interviews in one streamed video?
So the video file is broken down into different segments. That segment is based on file size and interview length. So that's why it gets parsed out into different files.
And so when it gets parsed out, is it a continuous video just in segments?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Judge, if I may publish State's Exhibit 4.
Yes. Yes, and do you all need lights off or?
No. All right, thank you, Judge. For the record, I am starting State Exhibit 470 at 17:24 and 32 seconds.
I live in Athens right now. We're 35 on Church Street. Yep. I go there a month.
Yeah, is this what we were talking about as the video is kind of broken up in segments?
Yes.
Or about an hour piece?
Correct.
So I'm going to move to the second video of State Exhibit 470. Restart. So this is the second video on 470, starting at 17:25 and 50 seconds.
All right, guys, new internet equipment is here. I'm going to change it at lunchtime. So when this court goes to break at lunch, I'm going to end this stream and we're going to have a part 2 for the afternoon. I got to reinstall all this stuff so that we don't have problems.
Improve the culture of that industry.
Appreciate everybody joining in this morning.
Technology, because
I didn't realize that this guy got all shot up by the cops.
that's kind of an issue these days, securing data on communities. There's always something that can be interesting.
Congratulations. How long have you lived
Appreciate it. I've been at the beginning of August. But then around August 7th, I was. And then I also live at my house with my parents too.
Where's that? What's that?
It's 600 nothing DLPH Iron Boulevard. That is 3010.
You live in your parents?
Yeah, I have mom, dad, 2 sisters, and a 6th brother. And we've been here a little bit. We live with us since I was.
Oh, my sisters.
My oldest is 30, so she has 2 kids now. And my oldest is 23.
Did I live?
The oldest sister is she lives in a
What's your phone?
678. 619. 788.
What's your phone? Alright, what is, you obviously read right English language? What are the influence of your order, I say?
No.
And your education level is obviously college. So you're out. I want to talk to you about what occurred here today. I want to read your rights first. Alright, so before I ask you any questions, you must read your rights, okay? So you have the right to consent. Anything you say, you use it as evidence against you. You have the right to talk to the lawyer before we ask you any questions and have you or within your questioning. But if you cannot afford the word, we'll be open for you without cost and usually be present at all times during questioning. If you decide to answer questions now that I'm already present, you will so we're stop at any time to talk to the lawyer. Do you understand this? Can we proceed forward to talking about what I have record?
Is there a way that I could just, I guess if I get uncomfortable with the answer, it's so that we could proceed with this.
Okay. So you are, I appreciate that. Let's talk through morning. Where start your morning at?
It started In my room.
Your apartment,
Yeah.
what time was that?
Well, I think I had woken up around 2 o'clock to my mom knocking on the door.
And that's,
And I was like, what was she doing? That just didn't make sense.
okay. So what happened after that was your,
She had come to tell me that 2 people had been murdered in the house that is behind ours. And she was, coming to ask me, like, were you involved? And I said, no. I was on the way home anyway. And then when all of that happened, I didn't hear any of it. They didn't hear any of it. And I had, I guess, left before it had happened. Because I had been going home. And then I went back to Athens because I was just too tired to go home and needed to come back for classes. So that's what I was doing that night before.
so where were you now?
In Athens and then I went home and I went back.
What time was that?
The drive down and the drive back.
Yeah,
So I guess I left Athens around 9 and I got there 10, 15. And then I was at my house for probably 30 or 40 minutes and then I left. 30 or 40 minutes after 10, 15 minutes, so within around that time, I guess, that I had left.
what did you?
It's hard to recollect, but it was later than, I guess, 11:30, 40. So maybe it was 12-inch. Yeah, an hour and a half is pretty accurate.
What did you drive?
My car.
Which one is?
It's a black license.
Okay. So your mom comes up here. And she was involved in this, I don't know about anything over Cobb. So I guess it's,
It was apparently it was a super crazy scene.
I
don't.
There's no evidence that we don't know.
Right, so she said it was the hair thing. Someone just like broke into their house and started there cleaning or something. She said, are there police there? Anything? No, she was like, no, I just happened. I want to make sure you weren't there. And I'm like, okay. I was thinking, I told her that I hadn't come home. That when I got there, I spoke to her in the backyard. I did look at the people's house. It's light. There's a big fence around here. I can see the light there. Yeah, and she asked me, did you look over at their house or did you hear anything? I was like, yeah, I looked over there and saw a light on or two when I was smoking a cigarette, and then I had to go back over to the park. And then it was locked. So I go around the front door and outside and sleep because it was already pretty late. I was just saying, looking forward. And then I was just saying, oh, I got my car inside there.
You left. And then at 2 o'clock, your mom shows up.
That's, yeah.
Okay, what happens after that?
She just talking to me about how she just wants me to focus on school and trying to be a hard worker for her and trying to stay focused and stay out of trouble, which is what I try to do.
That's part of your mom.
And my dad did. They're very respectful people. They want us, they want their kids to be good people and successful. They have to instill good values, which they have.
Seems like it. You got to grow around that huge gang.
Right. I mean, I was always a smart kid. I was in Kansas high school, high school. So school was kind of always a pretty easy thing for me to get along with. Ended up kind of a more introverted person. I was in school very fun. Usually it's a good thing to socialize more. Be more of it.
Mine's normal.
Some people just don't live there, I guess.
Oh, that's a passion. Passion. So, how did you, if you were in Athens, how did you end up?
For here, I was actually going home again in my car and
Do you remember this?
yeah, it was earlier. It was 75 here. I went way past 75, but it was happens. I'm not sure the actual road name. But
You just run to the market. There's restaurants or gas stations.
it's on the 75 drive back from Athens to Kinsel. I want to say, visit Sandy Springs, right? Yeah. I want to say,
All right, so car breaks down, he has some maps.
everybody's started walking.
Where are you going?
I'm just going to stay on walking on the car behind that.
What happens?
For a second, honestly, I just walked through that neighborhood.
Okay.
And then I saw so much that house was something I could go to. And then, when I was in there, the dogs were acting very friendly. And then, the lady started saying, "Who are you? What are you doing in my house?" And I was saying, "It's me, Matt." He's like, "Oh, I don't know who you are, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Well, maybe I'm just not in the right house." And then she called her son upstairs to Matthew. And she started calling the police after he came down. I was just sitting there for a while. And I was thinking about this really no way to describe that kind of interaction. When she called the police, knew I showed up. I went upstairs because that's where I had to go check out. I didn't find anything that I really I wasn't really sure. Just some place that felt I needed to be there. That's really
What happened was something.
And then I was upstairs. And then they were heading up the stairs. And I just went down because I was just up there.
Were they talking to you?
Yes, they were communicating. I was communicating.
And you were, what did they do?
Just coming downstairs. This is your house. It's the next one over. I was like, that's not right. It was just in here. But I guess it felt more uncertain. And then I started going downstairs. I saw the load of police. I don't know how many there were. There was probably 7 or 8 of them. I don't know if it's kind of freaking out.
You're scared.
Not necessarily. I thought they might have shot me on sight.
So what happened then?
Based on what happened, I think I could just call the lawyer for other credit.
You got to learn again. I just wanted to hear the truth, like you're the truth with me so far. Just kind of your side, your version of events, because I don't have my side.
Just the way I describe it is, I just kind of punched this dude with a knife. And then,
Can you go back?
considering I don't think they were going to let me after some event like that. So, I saw I was going to jail or prison instantly.
Just what?
Here was that was her. What shot them over and so. But it wasn't hate or anything. There was love in my body. So I think I was just looking for something that wasn't there.
What made you feel like you needed anything else?
I would say a message from God.
Can you tell me about that? Did you write with you? Did you write in the house?
This is my car. Because it's been on my ownership. And it's a fixed living.
Okay.
How it is a cabin. We'll see. Next time.
Where did you get it? Where did you get it at?
All I did
Can you tell me about it?
was that she
Oh, yeah. Okay, man.
the hills are pretty cool. But the lakes are fine. So overall, and the waves.
Anything else you want to tell me about the incident that you had to yourself?
Yeah. I just don't think what I did. I think I could have just left that house in peace. Then on my way to get my car back. Being at school, I think I was going to.
Anything else you want to talk about? You know, for the sake of honesty, and just getting help and making sure that.
Right, so I've been talking to mental health specialists that, paying for this is my, I guess, it's lifted, maybe there's more checkups to do than just talk.
Well, put it into that. Make sure you have, you see our doctors.
Just you both feel like you don't go to shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Anybody that needs help and wants help,
I do,
deserves to go get it.
though I do feel like I don't need that anymore.
Well, just, you know, anything else you want to talk about that you think would be good for us to know, you know, conscience, or, you know, maybe that's happened in the last couple days, that led up to this incident or after this incident that you think would be helpful for you.
I think having faith in God is very important.
Did you? So you're a believer, you're a Christian?
Yes.
And you,
I think God is very real.
I agree. Do you go to church?
It's kind of more like seasonal, occasional, church stuff. But,
Yeah, I don't know affect what you're on your level of belief, but you know, one of the biggest things is to be forgiven for your sins. That you as a Christian, you have to be honest and repent about shit.
I made this year. I feel like he loves me so because I do. I think
You think there's anything that he needs to tell you that you need to talk this out and tell us about so that you can take your conscience?
killing is always, killing should, I think killing should be like self-defense and then, military legislation defense of the person. So I believe in the concept of self-defense, like, the home deal with the castle in Georgia, that kind of stuff. So, as a personal gun, but I don't have it in my possession.
Where is it?
Back to answer.
Yeah, this is your thing. It's not on you, right?
No.
This is in the same place that.
Yes, it's safe.
Okay. Have you ever been in that situation?
Yeah. I mean, I thought when my mom showed up, she had like busted the chain off the lock. I was like, grab my pistol off the ground. But that was it, this officer.
What happened to you?
It's like a lock.
Oh, wow.
7.
Okay, how? 9? Wow,
Some things.
Did she grab them?
That was one searching over the locks.
They're literally
Whole
locked.
life. Until I was 17.
how old are you?
The pistol? It's
Where are you at? Oh, I've been there. Two places. Do you, are you a specific kind of guy, or?
I shoot like FRJs. And then like, in fact, I don't just do it in all ones.
Yeah. What kind do you keep your gun?
The brass with copper.
Contracted.
Yes. The hollow points. They have like different kinds of that. I just know that I was shooting guns, but I don't think they're hollow points.
I'm just curious, because we are, we don't have anything to do with guns, so why wouldn't you want to tell me where your gun is?
I don't know, I think it's just like relevant for the aspect of evidence. I just think it's just in the safe and locked in the house.
Okay, but it's locked up.
Yeah. The parents have.
Okay, there's a big thing we're just worrying about. Things like this go to help people in other people's houses so many times that people do a lot of different folks do, and they got guns and they end up just out in the woods somewhere. We just don't want a kid to get it or something like that. That's why I'm not saying about guns.
Yeah.
It's not about you. I just don't want little Johnny to go run through the woods and pick it up, and that'd be a little tragic.
And that would be having a word else.
Yeah, I think.
We had a person that would have.
Killing kids, I mean, come on. Anyway, that's all it's trying to do.
I'm gonna say that. Are you sure there's nothing you want to? You need trash can?
Let's see.
You sure there's nothing else you want to talk about this incident? Or help you ease yourself?
I don't think so.
You need more water.
All right, we'll take out for a minute.
So for the record, I'm stopping this video at 17:53 and 3 seconds. Now, at this point in your interview, do you start looking into a potential other incident?
Yes.
And were you able to identify a potential situation that needs to be looked into?
Yes. So when we stepped out, when Sergeant Johnson and I stepped out, we spoke to other detectives and our intel analysts who had been watching that interview and were trying to dig up other information. And that's when it became increasingly apparent that there was another incident involved, and the Cobb County incident got brought to light, the recent homicide.
Now, once you kind of identified that potential incident, did you or someone from your agency reach out to Cobb County?
Yes, I believe it was one of our intelligence analysts had reached out to Cobb County to get them in the loop.
And at some point, did they come to the headquarters and interview them?
They did.
Now, just to kind of ask some additional questions as to that interview. Now, was that interview conducted in the same room?
Yes.
And at some point, did detectives from Cobb County come and interview the defendant as he is seated there, as we saw?
Yes.
All right. Now, at some point after kind of going over all of that, did you and Sergeant Johnson come back in and continue your interview?
We did.
So now I'm going to skip to that portion when you come back into the interview, and that's on disc 1, video 3 of Safety Exhibit 470.
Judge, I may have some questions. This is a new interview, so I'll ask you questions. Okay.
Concerning the first one, yes, you may proceed.
Thank you. When you restarted this interview, and how long were you out before you came back in?
I'm not exactly sure how long it was that we were out of the room.
15, 20, 30 minutes?
Yeah, it wasn't a very long time period. So yeah, within a half an hour.
Okay, within a half hour. Did you reread his Miranda warnings?
No, we did not.
Okay. Even though you had a new situation that you wanted to ask questions about?
That's correct. He had already been advised of those and was still in our custody. So.
Okay. And you saw that he was beginning to get maybe sick there at the end?
Yes, sir.
And did you ask him anything about that, whether he felt like he could continue or anything of that nature?
Other than asking if he needed the trash can kind of right before we left, that was all I recall. And I don't remember if when we restarted, if I brought that up again or not.
All right. And the Cobb County officers, when did they arrive?
I don't know the exact time they arrived. Sometime I'm guessing around 6 p.m. So.
And you were still interviewing?
Yes.
All right. And did they come into the interview room?
They did after we went out and convened with them, and then they came in.
Okay. And was there Miranda warnings read at that point?
I don't recall if they read him an independent Miranda warning or not.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. And Judge, we would object to any continuing play of the video because we think it's a violation. The fact that they waited 30 minutes before they came back in. This is a new interview, and we feel like they did not read it Miranda warning. Consequently, anything from here on would not be admissible.
You're talking about the interview that continues with Sandy Springs Police Department or the interview that he's referring to with Cobb County?
The continuation, when they were gone for 30 minutes and then came back in, didn't remind him of his constitutional rights or didn't read the Miranda warning again, then we think that's a violation.
Okay, I'll hear from the state.
So this is not required. This is a continuation of the interview that they have already been conducting. So, I mean, it's not a violation. I had already asked the officer at any point he unequivocally wanted to withdraw and stop speaking. So it's just not a violation. This is just a continuation of the same interview, which is done in almost every case where interviews are conducted. They step out and we come right back in. It is not required for Miranda to be reread to him in 30-minute gap.
Yeah.
I would agree if they'd gone out for 5 minutes, take a break or something like that. This is an interview where they are gathering other information about another case, and they waited maybe 30 minutes before they came back in, knowing that they were going to be interviewing about another case, and they did not read Miranda before the Miranda video. I think that puts it in a different category. So we would object to this one.
Okay. Objections noted. I'm going to overrule the objections. The objections noted for the record. You may continue.
Okay. And so just to go back to State Exhibit 470, which has already been admitted to evidence, Disc 2, Video 1, starting at 18:04 and 16 seconds.
Good man. Good on water. Oh, yeah. Well, I guess I wanted to touch back on the night prior, kind of this issue we're getting. We talked about that because that Rose Myers. There probably some good information for us because there's a bit of a chat like this all. I just need to take something to sit there.
All I saw was that they had a Bible in the necessary bathroom. And that's what they all saw. Maybe someone said, like, that's all I saw.
Did you go with her anything?
No, I had like the there.
Apparently, they have finally named David the singer that had the 15-year-old girl Celeste Rivas Hernandez body found in the trunk of his Tesla in Hollywood Hills. So he's a singer, David D4VID, but he's finally been named a suspect in her murder. They found her body in his Tesla, his abandoned Tesla, supposedly, that had been out there for a month. And he's just now a suspect. As of 4 minutes ago, Law and Crime posted that. So I thought I'd share that with y'all.
But
Did you see anything suspicious with that?
No, I can't think of any suspicions.
Hear it?
No, it's there.
Right. Well,
Also, suspicion.
hear that?
I have a webcam on
When I was a kid,
it. It probably
all
don't
our
even
parents,
computer.
his friends would sleep there, and we were friends with their kids. But then
I figured it did.
Yeah, who's under that?
no. And she said it was.
Stay over here.
Oh,
Last one. I don't want. Go on.
I think the people that live there for them, you know.
I was scared.
The old relation,
It's weird.
What about the people that live there? Yeah, it's-
that neighborhood went down, I know, something like that.
yeah. You got that kids?
I don't know, but they have some of them pretty like, or something like that. I'm not sure they have it. I don't know.
And they said they did that. Okay, then.
Yeah. No.
Maybe that's a little bit now. You said you had a few passionate kids.
Well, it comes to
Yeah.
now we're trying to without our parents in there.
A new laptop showed up. New laptop.
Yeah.
They,
But I think I didn't listen here.
And now,
bought it on eBay. Not even kidding. $50. And it's Facebook friendly.
It's over here, so the little kid was in the house when all that happened.
from me, or from,
I know how that is. They start talking earlier, so the best news article.
That's what she said, it was like about things, it's hard. And apparently the whole kid was home and all that.
well, difference, I guess. Or did they take it, did they take the,
You got,
no, I don't know, I was just gonna ask, did they ever take it to the,
I hope so.
the organization, or
Yeah, I won that in an auction. On an auction.
You also said that, she's trying to correct it. So,
that's great.
really few kids.
So arrested, a burglar scene. Everything we got going on here is off to the side right now.
I mean, all I saw was the last one.
How much life was it?
It was, I guess there, it's like a window above the windows. And, you know, my brother was getting harassed by all police in there for that and all that stuff. So it was super crazy.
They were arrested, though.
This.
Yeah, it's anything, you know, people like to say, so it's just important for that.
Dude, weird, but it seems a lot more weird.
Closure, you know, because I mean, we were talking about earlier, you know, I think Waterston's in the room,
I don't know if you think that baby girl knowing that name.
and
That like you guys like
Losing their parents.
on
but I think it would help with that, I mean, it's,
all the YouTube
honestly,
things.
you're a Christian, you're a Christian,
I really appreciate it.
because,
You know, trying to get in the big world. I can't do it without.
Unfortunately, I don't have anything.
I know every YouTuber says that.
I don't have any information about it.
It's real.
you know, anybody that
Can't do this without
No,
the other end.
besides like I guess the local police.
Hey, so in the evening time, we're going to start covering more current events, like more crime law related, like protests, ICE protests, any kind of protests going on around the nation. We're going to cover maybe protests going on in Germany and what's going on.
have you heard anything with your family?
So we're going to start covering
Well,
that.
that knowledge of it is all we could read was on the news, so what all did you say? How'd she know?
I don't know. I mean, she must have seen the police in the morning or whatever. And she was just like, do you know anything about two people being murdered? You know, in the neighbor's household or something. No, that's what I wanted to say when I told her about coming home. Smoke a cigarette back there already. I mentioned what I was happening on.
Yeah, he just seems really strange in the courtroom, like almost like he's not there.
She said, "How we're going?" She said, "We're shot."
What do you think, Adam?
And I went out. I don't get the feeling that I knew somebody's up something. You know, when I was looking at the house anyway. I guess they just broke in.
What do you think about the person that did it? We didn't know. That was,
How brutal was it? Was it even brutal?
well, it was not in our jurisdiction, so we don't.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at your interview right there, so I just want
I wouldn't be able to say anything with this.
I mean, like with her, man, what do you think? What kind of person? Do you think somebody that might make a mistake or had a punch or something?
Maybe it was. I would say it was a coincidence that it happened on the same night as I showed up. But I didn't hear anything, which is crazy. I mean, or someone could have just been trying to rob and they got scared. I don't know. I'm just sitting there. I don't know. It's nuts. But it was broken in or something.
I was talking to you about it, did she hear from anybody around the house that were or anything?
No, she didn't really. She might have. I can't really remember what she said. I was trying not to look into before that. But I don't believe that happened. So it was definitely a little bit something.
What do you think should happen, person?
I guess it depends, like, with what intention. Because even, like, attempted at, like, I don't know what we're trying to do. It's just, or we're
Actually, house?
You guess it's a little bit, you don't have those parents already.
Something like that's just
Currently, I would roll on like that.
a lot of work is good though, which is that's hard. They can grow up to be some of the most successful people.
I'm assuming I'll go back to that, we're good.
For sure. I said prayers for my kid and my sister and my family. But yeah. I used to be super religious, but God really helped me find a lot of strength for myself and others. So I keep close to him.
Yeah, I get this vibe from with your religion and God and kind of our connection. That there's something there that you want to help bring peace or healing to somebody.
I think the energy might have been off for some reason. Maybe that was weird. But I guess it's just a sense of me being at home in the background, noticing the lights, looking a little like I guess. I was kind of put off by it.
Yeah, I think you were there for a reason. Yeah,
It's just a notice, I suppose. Yeah,
there's cabins there for a reason, so you could.
there was some there, myself, I suppose, and be able to say prayer and find some peace with each other.
Sometimes we all go through like we'll feel like opposites for a reason. Everybody's happening.
But I was kind of not a believer when I was younger. I was more of a atheistic science believer.
To allow me to switch to the next. Record. This is still states that it's a week 470. That's 470. Now this is disc 2, video 1, presuming or the previous video.
I'm sorry, Mr. Corey, we have a
How many viewers? All right, this is State's Exhibit 470. Still with disc 2, video 1, a continuation from the previous video on disc 1, video 3. And
I was always knowledgeable because of Christianity and values. So I feel myself guide me towards having more confident, lower God.
If anything, to work out on how to live your life.
The God and how you navigate mistakes, it's definitely, because Jesus came back for the sinners, to wash people of their sins, so that they have second chance life.
That's a courageous service.
And God sent His only Son back to the world to fulfill sin, so that we can have an afterlife. But through His Son, there are things that spiritually we have to do as well. We have to be like Jesus, act like Jesus, not as His ultimate word.
He is a very intelligent. He knows love with confidence.
And He was sorry for that.
It's just ignorance, I think, being involved.
Love to hand it off.
It takes time to love like that, it's hard. And it's worth it. It's just really just being in that place in my heart and mind.
Do you know if they love non-related believers?
I'm not sure. I think that people leave it before they're dead, but the dude who originally bought the house, I think was probably a Christian. He probably, that passed on to us. He's good people, I'm sure.
Did you Robin House, the new Like just for me, and say, hey, you doing?
No, it was kind of like, suspect, but I didn't just even like involve myself in that house, like, because my brother was so intimidated when I saw it was happening.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that and the relationship they had?
All due respect, it was just, I think he was being harassed, and it was,
Did you ever try to help them with that?
yeah, I mean, that's why I do with my friends, I try to talk to them, be logical, and listen to their issues and responsibilities and feelings. I try to work with them. Maybe see if they can find somewhere.
Yeah, it's weird. Are you still trying to, and I used to work past them, very sorry about that. Are you still trying to help clear stuff up for your brother?
He was a great soul. He was always one of my best friends. It's not a tragedy with him, especially in such a short manner. It's been very hard for me. That's why I've been talking to, the mental health specialists a lot in this. So I can show them that I'm not trying to like devolve to something supporting.
Having somebody to fight is huge.
It really is. Talking to the larger problem is really good way to heal the soul.
That's weird, I mean, it's you get it all kinds of things. I mean, literally, it'll kill you, both emotionally and physically. You can't keep stuff like that on dimensions. I mean, no matter what, you're believing in your faith, you can't.
Well, I don't have anybody on my conscience about me being there.
If you had that, if you weren't, would you? Whether or not, if you were there.
I don't know if I've ever like killed anybody, so
What about that?
I didn't also not.
He's got pretty little kids. Never see that.
More kids?
I don't think they're yet.
It's worse. I thought I was going to be taken away, I suppose.
Yeah. Was you kind of in that state of mind where you were out walking around and looking at houses and having, hunches that you need to enter into something that had occurred earlier that put you in that state?
Sometimes we see people that are in a time of crisis. Terrible events happen in their life. They just want to get in the next level from there for a little bit.
It really
It
seems
seems like it would be decent enough to do it in the end. It's something just going to be around for you that you're just walking around people's houses. That's what doesn't add up,
I only walked into that.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, yeah, so that house.
Yes, I think there's a special house, I guess, going on.
What was he telling you?
And then, I was just gonna not talk anymore.
Do you want me to let, where you live,
Backward.
do you want me to talk to the fire who's handling on that case so they can get this number? Would you do that?
Do you think that I could provide good information?
I really do. I think I have the person to do.
I suppose I could help if that would alleviate wonder.
She's very really appreciated.
Yeah, and I appreciate saying this today. I know what things happen, but your honesty, it's such great. And that's what gives you peace. So, if there's nothing else you want to talk to me about, we'll talk about, but
Yes, sir.
I'll say for 40 minutes.
I'm in due diligence to talk about my neighbors and make sure they're okay.
is not wrong with them because I think they've got to reach out to anybody, take anybody. That's little. I'm so thankful. My food sounds better than
I was felt like I was trying to promote trust with this as a person I'm saying. That isn't one of the valuable things.
well, I'm going to give you that to be along with God. And hopefully he stays to you.
I mean, he's saying lost my life. I deserve to live in.
I have a hunch that he's going to talk to you right now when I got this one. And I think maybe you'll have something to help us, help somebody and help that child. I mean, I think that's what he's going to do. He's going to work for you to help that.
Right now, you know, we can talk about possibly with and for evidence here, or just for evidence, or just
Just to help them. You know, just find out who did this. So, all right, well, we'll go work on that. And I'll need you to make sure it's right here so that it's just what you said. Yeah.
Absolutely.
For the record, I'm stopping this video at 18:31 and 33 seconds. Now, Detective, we kind of previously talked about how you spoke with Cobb County, and just for the record purposes, sorry. This one's very small, so I was going to come up here and point. Now, down here on the video, what is the current time? All right. What is the current time when y'all left the interview?
That was 6:31 p.m.
Okay. And so then, at some point after 6:31, does Cobb County detectives come and interview Mr. Lanz here in the same room?
Yes,
And was that recorded as well?
it was.
And through the same system in segments like we've seen?
Yes,
With your testimony?
that's correct.
Now, I want to ask just a couple of questions about the burglary case itself. Were you the lead detective in that?
I was.
Now, were you tasked with trying to locate the defendant's vehicle that you heard about in the interview?
Yes.
Now, was his, or back up one question, were you able to identify the type of vehicle that he drove?
Yes.
How were you able to do that?
So through public record searches and through law enforcement databases, I and our intel analysts were able to determine that it was a 2018 Lexus sedan.
And that sedan, was that able to be located?
It was. Once we identified the vehicle, we were able to use those same databases to identify a license plate number, and we used searchable license plate reader systems to get an idea that the vehicle was somewhere in the location of Northside Drive and New Northside Drive.
Now, was that car specifically found?
It was.
And where was it specifically found?
And outside of 5665 New Northside Drive.
Now, in relation to the 90 Cameron Glen house, where was that car located?
If you were to follow the roads walking, it would be about 1.5 miles.
Now, is it a shorter distance? What did you do next?
So the officers located the course, and then I obtained a magistrate court to search that vehicle, any evidence that might link Mr. Lanz or the vehicle to our crime here in Fulton County.
And so was the vehicle taken from its location on New Northside Drive to a location?
Yes.
And where is that location?
So at Sandy Springs Police, we had a secured impound cage for processing vehicles behind our detective's office. It was dropped in that cage.
Now, is that the same location where you had interviewed Mr. Lanz?
Yes, same building.
All right. Now, were photographs taken of that vehicle?
They were.
Now, as it pertains to this case here, after that point, did you have any other additional involvement?
No, I didn't. I passed off the search warrant to the investigators that executed that, and I passed off the rest of the case to Cobb County. My only involvement was taking out the Fulton County arrest warrants.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Attorney Barry, is there any cross for Sergeant Nito? Okay, you may proceed.
Yeah, I gotta ask you a couple questions.
Did you actually search the vehicle after it was located?
No, sir, I did not.
Okay, was that Cobb County that did the search?
I know that Detective Tomlin with Sandy Springs took lead on that. Tomlin, Tomlin, and I believe Cobb County worked hand in hand with him on that, but I wasn't part of it, so I'm not sure.
Okay. Were you given any information about anything that was found, any trace evidence found in the home?
I don't believe so. I don't recall.
Okay. No glass shards in the vehicle on the floorboard or anything like that nature that you know of?
Not that I can think of right now, no, sir.
And I think you already indicated you don't know what time exactly the Cobb County police arrived, correct?
That's correct.
I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any more witnesses or any follow-up or redirect?
No, Judge.
All right, may this witness be excused? Any objection?
Attorney is
Right, Sergeant,
no.
excuse me.
That's all right.
I think this man probably asked 30 questions. This
Good time for break. We're about an hour before to give everybody an opportunity for a break. Let's come back at about 10:45. Sorry, stand in recess. Wait, hold on one second before I leave this. That's saying 10:36. That's fine. That's fine. 10:45. That's fine. Okay. Yeah. That's fine.
all right, so we're caught up to them. So we don't have any more FF room. So what that means is we get to stare at the seal of the state of Georgia for the next probably 5 minutes, because she said, I think, about a 10 or 15-minute break. So in the meantime, I'm going to go use the restroom. And fiddle with this computer for just a second. Maybe. Are these guys for real? Sorry, guys. I was looking at some stuff online that people are trying to sell for crazy amounts of money. All right, so I just want to let you guys know. So in the evening times, I'm going to start covering like more current events, live events, like protests and ice raids and stuff like that. In the evening times, we're still going to do our normal daily thing. I'm just going to kind of do something in the evening as well. Do live streams on that. So last night we did a live feed of the protests in Dearborn, Michigan, which is about an hour 20 minutes south of me. I'm in Lansing, Michigan, so I'm about dead center of your palm of your hand, and Dearborn is over in this area. So isn't that lovely how we can do that with our hand? Looks like Court's coming back. But yeah, so we're gonna be covering more stuff like that in the evenings, running lives on that kind of thing. Sniping other people's streams of, people that are there, providing footage for us. And so we use their streams and provide footage for them and give them credit for it. So like last night, I was using a great YouTuber by the name of Cam Higby. That's his YouTube handle. And he was down there in Dearborn, got pepper sprayed, maced by a counter protester or whatever, if you will. Yeah, so them guys are down there on the front lines behind enemy lines in middle America. So I'm going to start covering more stuff like that. So I just want to let you guys know. So look out for that. I'll schedule it so that you guys can see it ahead of time. If I'm going to do that in the evenings, it'll be a 6 or 7 o'clock thing. You know, a couple hour stream if we can find some good ones. So, all right. Looks like court's coming back. Court reporters in. They got all them cops in there that they don't need. So apparently this guy got shot by the police a couple different times, grazed in the neck. I didn't know that they shot him up. Yeah, they fucked him up, which good. I'm glad they did, but I just wasn't aware that they did. It's, you know, they should have did more than that. This dude is a monster. What are they doing here? They're back in the courtroom and then they just bounced. All right, folks, I'm going to go take a break. I'll be right back.
Your court for Cobb County back in session.
Thank you. Everyone, please be seated for me. All right, we are back on the record for the state of Georgia versus Matthew Scott Lanz, 22-9-00922. All parties are present. State, are you ready to call your next witness?
Yes, Your Honor. The state calls Detective Peter Dwyer.
You'll raise your right hand, please. You do solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give the court on the issue now pending shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you. Please be seated. And once you are seated, if you would please state and spell your true and correct legal name for the record.
Detective Peter Dwyer, P-E-T-E-R-D-W-Y-E-R.
Great. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Detective Dwyer, how are you employed?
I currently work for the Sandy Springs Police Department.
How many years have you been with Sandy Springs Police?
I started in 2016, so just under 10.
And what is your role with Sandy Springs Police?
I currently am assigned to the Criminal Investigation Division.
As a detective?
Yeah, correct.
How many years total have you been in law enforcement?
It's going to be just under 13 years. I started with the Fulton County Sheriff's Office.
Wonderful. And you're post-certified?
I am.
Excellent. I want to draw your attention to November 19th of 2021. Were you with Sandy Springs Police Department at that time?
I was.
And did you have an occasion to get called out to 90 Cameron Glen Drive in Atlanta?
That's the Sandy Springs address,
yes.
but yes, I was made aware of an incident that occurred there.
Okay, and at that time when you were made aware of that incident, were you in some sort of training?
I was. I was in a training class at the Roswell.
Okay, did they ask you to respond to the scene?
That's correct. My supervisor requested me and another detective leave training and respond to the scene due to the nature of the incident.
Once you responded to the scene, where was your attention drawn, or what did you start to do?
I was first responded to headquarters where we received the assignment to go see if we could locate the suspect's vehicle. We were made aware one of our officers had been injured in an incident, and they believe the suspect's vehicle would be parked nearby.
Were you given information as to the make and model of that vehicle?
Yes.
Okay, and do you recall what type of vehicle it was?
I don't recall off the top of my head.
That's okay. Where did you start your search for the vehicle?
I believe I started somewhere in the neighborhood where the incident occurred, and I kind of worked my way out.
Okay, and why is it that, I guess explain for the court what type of investigation you held in trying to determine where this car was located.
Sure. At that time, I was assigned to the street crimes unit where we track pattern criminal activity. And we had a rash of burglaries at that time. We were also working. And so I believe more than likely those burglars were parking in streets nearby and then crossing through woods to get to homes.
Okay. So did you think that the incident you were responding to was potentially related to this other string of burglaries that you were working?
Initially, yes.
Okay. Obviously, in the end, did it have any relationship whatsoever?
None whatsoever.
Okay. Nonetheless, because you were working this other string of burglaries, where did you conduct your search?
So I ended up conducting my search along New Northside Drive, just off Interstate 285. The woods in that neighborhood backed up to that area, and they were pretty decent-sized woods, but I believe it was possible that the suspect could have gone to the woods to get to those homes.
Okay, I'll just slow down just a little bit.
I apologize.
Thank you.
And is that kind of what you had seen with this other string of burglaries, is walking through woods to a different location to where they would park their vehicles?
Correct.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State 675 and previously shown to defense counsel. Have you seen this map previously?
I have.
And did you recognize the map?
I do.
How is it that you recognize the map?
This is the western edge of the city of Sandy Springs.
And does it include both the location in which you found the vehicle as well as the incident location?
It includes both.
Is it a fair and accurate representation of that area and those two addresses?
It is.
At this time, state moves to tender State's Exhibit 675 into evidence.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, state 675 is admitted.
And may I publish?
Yes.
And that little screen in front of you should be showing the same image here. So what is this highway that we see kind of in the center of the picture?
It's labeled the perimeter, but that's Interstate 285.
Okay. And then you mentioned New Northside Drive. What was the exact address of where you ended up locating the suspect vehicle?
It would have been right next to 5665 New Northside Drive. There's a small cul-de-sac that I don't know if you can see it. Sorry. It would have been right next to 5665 New Northside Drive. There is a small cul-de-sac in that area that where the woods, where it starts where the woods begin, and the vehicle was located along that area.
And how close is this 5665 New Northside Drive to the 285?
It's right off the interstate, less than a quarter mile.
Okay. Now, if you were to be on foot, are you able to walk more directly from 5665 New Northside Drive to 90 Cameron Berlin Drive?
Yes, you cross through the woods.
Okay. Now, we also see that there's this little body of water here. Is that something that you can just kind of hop over?
I believe it's a creek. I don't remember the size of the creek, though.
Now, when you found this vehicle, and let me back up. Did the vehicle that you did it match the vehicle that you were looking for?
Yes.
Was it the same make, model, and license plate number?
Yes.
All right. Were you able to determine whether the vehicle was able to be operated?
No, looked like it appeared to have been abandoned or left there at that point.
And so what did you do?
I requested our tow truck company, which is ATOW, and I just kept watching the vehicle until the tow truck company responded.
Did you enter the vehicle in any way before it was towed?
No.
Once the tow truck arrived on scene, were they able to attach the vehicle to the tow truck?
I believe so, yes.
And where was the car towed?
It was towed to police headquarters.
Did you follow the tow truck?
I did.
Once the vehicle was then at police headquarters, was it kind of turned over to a different detective for getting a search warrant and searching the vehicle?
That is correct.
From there, after you followed the tow truck to police headquarters, where did you go?
I responded back to police headquarters, obviously, with the vehicle, and then I was requested to go to North Fulton to sit with the accused.
And when you say North Fulton, is that a hospital facility?
Yeah. North Fulton is a hospital up in the city of Roswell.
So at that point in time, was Mr. Lanz already at the North Fulton Hospital?
That is correct.
Now, when you're at a hospital, are you even able to get any information as to what drugs someone may be prescribed or given during next day?
No, they don't typically give that information out.
Nonetheless, did you stay at the hospital until he was released?
I did.
Was he released that same day?
He was.
From there, were you part of the transport team that was responsible for Mr. Lanz?
I was.
From the hospital, where did you transport him?
He was transported to Sandy Springs Police Headquarters.
Was that for purposes of an interview?
For interview, and then so we could pick up the paperwork to transport to jail.
And then once you were at headquarters, did you stand by at headquarters?
I did.
Were you intimately aware of or watching all of his interviews?
Not that I recall.
Okay. Nonetheless, were you asked to just stay there until all the police interviews were done so that your team could have him transported to the jail?
Yes, we stood by until we were requested to finish the transport to Fulton County Jail.
And who else were you with that day?
Detective Donaldson.
And is that Donelson?
Donelson, that's correct.
So after he was through at headquarters, were you and Donaldson responsible for getting him safely from headquarters to the jail?
That is correct.
And that jail was at Fulton County?
That is Fulton County Jail, correct.
Did you put him into the patrol car?
Yes.
Whose patrol car was he inside of?
He was transported in Detective Donaldson's patrol vehicle.
He was transported.
In Detective Donaldson's patrol vehicle?
And was that patrol car equipped with audio and video?
It was.
All right, is that the patrol car video that you've seen previously?
It is.
And prior to testifying, did you review the entirety of that patrol car video?
I did.
All right, and are you actually at least heard getting him into that vehicle?
Correct.
All right, and are you also then at the Fulton jail and assisting getting him out of the vehicle?
Correct.
And the timestamps of that transport was that all accurate to encompass the entirety of the transport from when you put him into the vehicle until he was taken out of Donaldson's vehicle?
Yes.
Right. And is that all fair and accurate recording of his time inside Donaldson's vehicle?
Yes.
At this time, the state moves to tender states 469 into evidence, which is the in-car video from Detective Donaldson's vehicle depicting Mr. Lanz.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
States 469 is admitted.
And may I publish, Your Honor?
Yes.
All right, and we will jump forward to 5 minutes and 48 seconds. And before we get started, any responding voice that we hear, is that Detective Donaldson's voice?
That is correct.
Alright, so for the record, we are starting this 5 minutes and 48 seconds into this vehicle. The timestamp on the video is November 20th, 2021. I apologize. At 1:29 a.m. at 8 minutes and 50 seconds into the recording, the timestamp on the video being 1:32 and 44 seconds. Now, Detective Dwyer, do you recall whether you or Donaldson had any knowledge or intimate details of the Cobb County murders at that point in time?
At that point in time, I do not believe we did. I mean, we may have been aware Cobb County was at our police department, but I don't think we had any information on why or what it was related to at that point.
All right, now, I want to go back momentarily. During any point in time from the time that you spent with Mr. Lanz at the hospital, the time you spent with him transporting him to headquarters, getting him into Donaldson's vehicle at headquarters, getting him out of the vehicle at the Fulton County Jail, during any of that time period, did you have concerns that he was under the influence, drunk or high, any indicators such as that?
I didn't have any concerns he was under the influence at that point. I mean, I assumed the hospital gave him some type of pain medication, but he didn't seem under the influence to me.
Did you notice any sort of inability to walk or stand or falling asleep unexpectedly or anything along those lines?
No, I mean, he had followed instructions. He stood up. I mean, he walked into the jail on his own power. I mean, he didn't stumble. I saw no issue there.
Very good. And do you see Mr. Matthew Lanz in the courtroom today?
I do.
Can you please point him out for the court?
He's sitting at the defendant's table wearing a neon, I think, green jumpsuit with longer hair.
Let the record reflect that he's identified the defendant.
The record will so reflect.
I don't have anything further. Thank you.
Great. Attorney Barry, you may proceed with cross.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Detective.
How are you, sir?
And approximately how far was it from where you found the automobile to the incident location? The home invasion?
Are you talking driving or as the crow flies?
Probably one who was walking. How far would that be?
I couldn't guess how far it was. I'm not very good at math, if I'm being perfectly honest. I mean, under a couple miles, though. Under.
Did he just say I'm not very good at
You
math?
indicated that there was
Like,
some
can't tell you
damage to
how
the
far.
vehicle.
I don't recall if I indicated that or not. In my report, did I?
Yeah, what was wrong with the vehicle that was abandoned?
It just appeared abandoned on the side of a road.
Okay. No damage to it, didn't know whether it ran out of gas, it was just abandoned.
Not that I recall. I don't recall.
Now, the video that we just saw started at 5:48. Was there any conversation before 5:48?
I was not present in that vehicle. I was following directly behind.
Okay. But you listened to the video, you didn't?
I did.
Was there any conversation that you heard or you gleaned from
I don't
that
recall any
video?
conversation prior to that.
Okay. What about after 8:42? Did you glean any conversations after 8:42?
I believe he questioned once we entered the jail complex, he questioned whether it was jail or prison. And I think that was the extent of the conversations.
Okay. Did you ask him any questions during any of the time he was there?
Not that I recall.
Okay. And did Officer Donaldson, did he ask him any questions either?
I didn't hear Detective Donaldson ask any questions.
All right. Thank you.
Is there any follow-up or redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All
Thank
right,
you.
may this witness be excused?
Yes.
Any objection? Okay, Detective Dwyer, you're excused. Thank you, sir. Good day, stay safe.
Hit that like and subscribe button for me, folks. It'd be ever so kind of you to do so.
State, you may call your next witness.
State called Detective LaVanna Mason.
If you'll raise your right hand, please. You do solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give the court on the issue now pending shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Thank you. Have a seat for me. And once seated, if you would please state and spell your true and correct legal name for the record.
First name is Levan, L-E-V as in Victor, A-N. Last name is Mason, M-A-S-O-N.
Thank you. You may proceed. 88 Green.
Detective, how are you employed?
I'm currently with the Cobb County Police Department with the Technology-Based Crimes Unit.
How many years have you been with the technology-based crimes unit?
Since 2014.
Okay. And how many years total have you been law enforcement?
22 and change, I guess.
22 years?
Yes.
Wonderful. And you're post-certified?
Yes.
What are the primary job responsibilities as a detective with the technology-based crimes unit?
Just handling most of what the devices that come to us and just getting digital evidence from, be it phones, computers, video surveillance, just wherever digital evidence is needed for cases.
Wonderful. What is, since we'll be talking about phone extractions, that's where I want to focus. What is a phone extraction?
It's, well, if we have a cell phone that's brought to us, we use proprietary software and hardware to interface with the phone and make copies, basically, of the information that's on the phone as it's brought to us.
And is some of that proprietary software Celebrite?
It is.
All right. And is Celebrite approved by industry standards?
Yes.
And what specifically does Celebrite do?
It goes there, well, it interfaces with the phone and basically makes a copy of the file system on the phone and packages it in such a way that we can move it from point A to point B, and then we drag it into Celebrite software that decodes, parses everything out, and basically puts it in a format where you can see the categories of everything that's on the phone.
Very good. Have you received any specialized training, specifically or certification with Celebrite to be able to use Celebrite for purposes of phone extractions?
Yes, have been certified with Celebrite since, I want to say, 2015, just after joining the unit.
Wonderful. And how many extractions on average do you perform each month?
A month, probably in the teens.
Okay. And then over the course of your career, just a rough estimate of how many phone extractions you performed?
I would say hundreds, possibly into the thousands, but hundreds definitely.
You kind of alluded to this a little bit, but how many steps are there, if we really just boil it down to layman's terms, how many steps are there in the phone extraction process?
You plug the phone into basically a data port. The software interacts with the phone, runs background algorithm, so right to actually communicate with the phone and copy that data from it. And then after that, the data that's extracted goes into a proprietary rights software can read. That file goes into their software and then it parses everything out. So maybe 2 or 3 steps total.
And when that data is parsed out and put into a readable format through Celebrite, are you able to manipulate any of the data within?
No.
Okay, and is it an exact copy of the data that exists on the phone?
Correct.
All right, now, are there times that you're not able to get certain categories of data or what's called a full extraction?
Depending on what type of extraction you get, what type of phone it is, what type of, I guess, background programming that the Celebrite software actually interacts with the phone and what it's able to glean from that phone. That is correct, yes.
Certainly, when you have a brand new iPhone, is it harder to get full extractions from it?
Yes.
Now, is there anyone with your same background and certification through Celebrite able to repeat the steps that you conduct and achieve the same results or the same extraction?
Yes.
Now, once you've put this into readable format through Celebrite, what do you typically do with the phone extraction?
The phone extraction is usually, well, there's a report generated from it, which is the radio report that you mentioned that usually goes to the investigator or whoever's actually looking into the case so that they can look at the contents of the phone and see what's pertinent to their case. But we store the extraction itself and then generate a report that goes to the investigator so they can use that for the investigation.
Okay, very good. Did you perform 2 phone extractions in this case?
I did.
And the phones that you extracted, did you use Celebrite specifically to perform those extractions?
Yes, for both of them, yes.
All right. And were those the devices that belonged to Justin and Amber Hicks?
Yes.
All right, first I'm going to show you state 605 here, which has already been tendered and admitted. Was this Amber Hicks's device that you extracted?
Yes.
All right, and then state 606 again, which has already been tendered. Was this Justin Hicks's device that you extracted?
Yes.
And where did you actually get these devices from?
I responded to the initial scene after the incident was being investigated, and crime scene techs were working the scene, and they actually collected those phones from the scene and turned them directly over to me and transported them back to the office for analysis.
Okay, and was that for purpose of expediting this investigation?
Yes.
All right, did you conduct this same process of plugging it into Celebrate, allowing it to extract the data and then put it into readable format that you previously described for the court?
Yes.
Prior to testifying, did you go back and look at your phone extractions for both of these devices?
Yes.
All right, are those phone extractions the phone extractions that you performed on State's Exhibit 605 and 606?
Yes.
All right, and has anything been manipulated or changed?
Couldn't be.
Okay.
No.
And I was going to get to that. Can you even manipulate or change it?
No.
All right, very good. So at this time, State moves to tender State's Exhibit 472 into evidence, which is on the master drive. That is Amber Hicks's phone extraction, as well as State's Exhibit 473, which is on the master drive and is Justin Hicks's phone extraction.
Any objections to 472?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections to Exhibit 473?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Exhibit 472 and 473 are admitted.
Now, in this particular case, did you personally go through the contents of those devices and analyze the data found within?
No.
Was that true?
Analysis, other than confirming that the phone was the phone that belonged to the person that we believed it belonged to.
Absolutely. Did you find evidence to confirm that it was in fact Amber Hicks's phone and Justin Hicks's phone?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Beyond that, did you provide the phone extractions to Detective Stannard to look at in detail and analyze?
Yes.
Right. Did that pretty much conclude your direct involvement in this case?
Yes.
I think that's all the questions that I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Attorney Berry, any questions for Detective Mason?
Just one question. Did you do anything else at the scene there on November the 18th?
There was, I did assist with some of the video canvassing with working different houses in the area as far as seeing if anybody had any video that was active and pertinent to the case.
Okay. And did you do any of the work on that after they were obtained from the various homes?
That the video evidence that we did have was turned over to one of our other detectives that was basically analyzing the video data kind of en masse.
And was that Detective Smith?
Yes.
But your job at that point was collecting them and then giving them,
Identifying who had video and actually getting it to a place where he could actually look at it, yes.
All right. Did you do anything else in relation to that?
There was a couple of other devices that were in the house that, it was kind of a search of the house to see if there was anything else pertinent to video that was in the house, but there was nothing else that was found that actually was capturing the video other than just gathering the phones.
All right. Thank you. Nothing further.
Thank you. Is there any follow-up or redirect?
No, thank you.
May this witness be excused?
Yes.
Any objection? Thank you. Detective Mason, excused, sir. Thank you. Have a good day. Stay safe. All right. State, you may call your next witness.
State calls Sergeant Jason Harder.
You raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give the court on the issue now pending shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I did.
Thank you. Please have a seat for me. And once seated, if you'd please state and spell your true and correct legal name for the record.
Yes, ma'am.
Jason Harder, JASONHARDER.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you. Sergeant, how are you employed?
Cobb County Police Department
And how many years have you been with Cobb County Police Department?
since 2007.
And what is your current assignment?
I'm a sergeant with the Technology-Based Crime Unit.
How many years have you been a sergeant over technology crimes?
August 2022.
And did you have previous experience with technology-based crimes?
Yes.
Right. And how many years prior were you a detective with technology-based crimes unit?
July of 2017 till I believe it was March of 2022.
Right, very good. So a number of years, was that 8 years or so, working specifically with technology-based crimes?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Now, as a sergeant with technology-based crimes, do you still have the skill set? Are you still responsible for performing things like phone extractions or forensic video acquisition and analysis when needed?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. I want to jump right in. We've heard a little bit about Celebrate, but I want to talk to you about Gray Key. What is Gray Key?
Gray Key is an advanced tool that came on the market about 2019 roughly, and it has the capability of performing advanced actions with various devices.
Is it similar in nature to Celebrate in terms of being able to extract data off of a phone?
Yes.
And are there times that you actually use both Gray Key and Celebrate?
Yes.
Okay. Can you explain what the purpose would be in using both softwares?
With Gray Key is very specific on what it can acquire at that time, which was a file system. If you wanted to do anything with a SIM card, perform an advanced logical or anything like that, you had to move over to Celebrate to perform those extractions.
Okay. I'll jump right into this particular case where you asked to perform a cell phone extraction in this case.
Yes.
Okay. And how many cell phones were you asked to extract?
One.
Okay. And do you remember what type of device it was?
Apple iPhone.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State Exhibit 665. Do you recognize State 665?
Yes.
And how is it that you recognize State 665?
That is the item number as well as the physical device. Had a cracked screen and same as the photos I took.
I'm sorry, Miss.
Same as the photos that I had taken from our report.
And so is 665 the actual physical device that you extracted in this case?
Yes.
All right, State moves to tender State's Exhibit 665 into evidence.
An objection? State 665 is admitted.
And while, just to be clear, did you originally collect this evidence from where it was located?
No.
All right, was it provided to you for purposes of the phone extraction?
Yes.
And what was your understanding as to the owner of this particular device?
I believe it was the suspect in the case.
Okay. Is that Matthew Lanz?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, for this particular device, did you have to use both Gray Key and Celebrate?
We use Gray Key for the file system as well as Celebrate, I believe, for the SIM extractions.
And in using both of the software programs, were you able to obtain a relatively complete phone extraction from the device?
Yes, on what we could acquire.
And when you say
On what we could acquire. Sorry.
And when you say on what we could acquire, can you explain that a little bit further for the court?
When we talk about data collection, it's what's available at the time we're able to collect it. There used to be different extraction types where you can get the entire end-to-end data from a device, but that changed around iPhone 4, where it went to you can only get certain data sets from phones due to the developer securities and things that nature that limited the tools that we had. So at that time, we're only able to do a file system.
Okay. Now, did you successfully extract the file system?
Yes.
And the file system that you did successfully extract, is all of that content true and accurate copies of what would be on the physical device itself?
Yes.
Prior to testifying, did you have an opportunity to look at the copy of your phone extraction that you performed?
Yes.
Okay. And were you able to confirm that that is a true and accurate copy of the extraction that you personally handled?
Yes, it was.
At this time, State moves to tender State's Exhibit 471 into evidence, which is Defendant Matthew Lanz's phone extraction, which is contained on the State's master drive.
Is there any objection to State's 471?
No, Your Honor, I have not.
Thank you. Exhibit 471 is admitted.
Now, do you always personally go through phone extractions, or is it kind of a case-by-case basis?
Case by case.
In this particular case, what did you do after you extracted the data from Matthew Lanz's device?
Brought it in a physical analyzer, generated a reader report, and provided that to the requesting detective.
Okay. Was that detective standard in this case?
Yes, it was.
Very good. I don't have anything further. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Attorney Berry, any questions for this witness?
Oh, Your Honor, no question.
All right, may this witness be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Detective Hardy, you may step down, sir. Thank you.
ma'am.
Have a good day and stay safe. Yes, of course. All right, this looks like an appropriate time for us to take our lunch break. So we'll go to lunch now and be back at 1 p.m. Okay, so not 1:30, but 1 p.m. we'll be back today. All right, everyone enjoy lunch and I'll see you all at 1 p.m. Court's in recess.
All right, guys. I think we're on lunch break.
Thank you,
Have
ma'am.
a good day and stay safe. Right, this looks like an appropriate time for us to take our lunch break. So we'll go to lunch now and be back at 1 p.m. Okay, so not 1:30, but 1 p.m. We'll be back today. Right, everyone enjoy lunch.
All right, folks, I'm going to end this stream. I'm going to reset my internet equipment, and I'm going to start another stream for after lunch. So I will see you back here shortly. Thank you for watching, and come join us again for the afternoon part. Thanks, guys. I normally don't do a split stream like this, but I've just got to swap out my internet equipment.